All right, Nick, let's talk about the Oklahoma Sooners. Exciting move to the SEC. I think everyone's been talking about it. Will they be ready? Are their new players going to be ready? I think one of their best players has now told us that there's one guy in particular who's a new face on this team that will definitely be ready. Let's get into the article and we talk more about it on the other side. This, of course, is from over on SI.com. It says Dominic Williams is already turning heads in Norman. The 6'1", 319-pound defensive tackle was the jewel of Oklahoma's transfer portal class as Brent Venables and defensive tackle coach Todd Bates landed the former TCU Horned Frog over Texas and LSU. He didn't enter the portal until after spring practice, meaning Williams will have plenty of work ahead of him to get caught up with the playbook. But there are no questions about his physical abilities. And after he joined the Sooners for summer workouts, this is some of the comments from Danny Stutsman. It says, from the second Williams came, he's a beast, OU linebacker Danny Stutsman said on Tuesday. We had our conditioning training when he first stepped on there. We didn't know where he was going to be. Obviously, in the portal, you can't work out with the team you were with before. He came in and dominated right away, and there's going to be no fall off. It's going to take no time to get acclimated. He's going to be ready to go. You love to hear that about a transfer portal guy. It means he stays in shape. Even though he couldn't practice with any team, he had to do it all on his own. This is a guy who's ready to come in and dominate for the Sooners. Nick, I'm curious what your thoughts on this one are, but before we get to you, Oklahoma fan, in the comment section below, we're talking about defensive tackle, big guys in the middle of the field. Who are some of your favorites throughout the history of Oklahoma Sooners football? Let us know your favorite defensive tackle in Oklahoma history in the comment section below. But Nick, what are your thoughts on Williams?
So I think there's a couple layers here. First of all, I think you alluded to it perfectly. The fact that Williams, when he was in the portal, right, there was a period of time where he couldn't work out with TCU anymore, and he came into Oklahoma in shape, ready to rock and roll, and to the point he was dominating all these workouts, which again is according to what Stutsman said, who's got no reason, of course, to be not truthful. And I think that's a great sign because look, anyone who's been part of any sort of college program, I was small school Division I AA, is that these conditioning things, if you take like a week or two off and then you jump into it, you're just screwed, right? If you take like a month off, you're going to be behind everybody, right? Just because they're really hard, depending on the team. It's a lot of different things you have to do, whether it's sprints, whether it's long runs, whatever. It's very hard conditioning environment to get through unless you're specifically in really good shape. That's why a lot of times transfer portals or freshmen come in and it takes them a few weeks, sometimes a couple months, just because you got to get your body in shape to handle those workouts. The fact that Williams came in and did so good so early means one of two things. One, he's either just a freak of nature, which would be great if he was, even if it's unrealistic. But number two, it means he put in the work by himself. And that means he's a grown up, right? That means he's mature enough to handle being sort of his own trainer, his own leader. He's self-motivated. And I love to see that from these young college kids, especially transfer portal guys, because there is sort of a stigma going around, whether it's true or not in all cases, where college football players have become a lot more me-centric, a lot more me-focused. What can programs do for me? What can schools do for me? How much money can an NIL collective give me, right? Instead of how can I help the team win football games? And based on Williams' performance this offseason so far, according to Stutsman, Williams has been 100% focused on being what can I do to help Oklahoma win games? Okay, maybe I can be in shape so that way I don't have to spend any of the summer trying to get in shape. I can be ready to go day one to compete and work out with my new teammates, right? That's a team focused mentality. And that's what Venables has very clearly, he's been very vocal about this, focusing on a lot this offseason, bringing in team focused guys and having guys brought into that culture and turning them into team focused guys if they weren't already. I think that's the most important element of what we're hearing about Williams right now. Because going into this SEC environment is absolutely, everyone knows this, it's going to be a gauntlet. You're going to have everybody together on the same page, everybody in great shape, everyone willing to battle and work through adversity. That's just what the SEC schedule has always been, and will continue to be. And the fact that Williams, arguably the most important transfer on this Oklahoma defense, has come out and put himself in a great position by being focused on the team is a great sign for the folks in Norman.
Yeah, Nick, and I think one last thing that I think is really important for this team for Oklahoma is that he comes in, and Stutzman gave a couple more comments down at the end of the article. And he talks about that he came in right away. And it's usually something that takes a little bit of time, but he earned the respect of that room. He earned the respect of the defense because of probably the work that he put in before he came. It's like you said, a guy, he could not work out, could come in a little bit out of shape, have to spend the summer to get back into football shape. But when you come in ready to go, a true professional, like a consummate of your craft, you come in, I think a lot of people be like, "This guy's the real deal. I'm gonna respect him. This guy's gonna be a great member of our team." And also Stutsman, which is the thing. This is really important coming from him, who's by far the leader of this team. He's the voice of this team. He's the guy that we're hearing from right now. Says that he's come in and he's a natural born leader on the defense as well. So I think that's great commentary from Stutzman, just saying this guy is a leader coming from the leader of the defense. You can't get any better than that. I'm really excited about Williams and the work he's done to come into this Oklahoma defense and be very successful early on. I think not a lot of people can do it, but like you said, this guy's a grown up. He's more about the team, less about me. So I think this is going to be a great fit for Oklahoma.